My sister got the family inheritance, claiming I'm too irresponsible. She used it to fund her luxury resort, but didn't know I owned shares in the company supplying her resort. So I pulled out my investment right before her grand opening. The day my parents' will was read, I learned that karma doesn't always work on your schedule. Sometimes it needs a little push. I'm Isabel, and I was sitting in our family lawyer's office, watching my sister Tyre's perfectly manicured fingers drum against the mahogany desk. The tapping echoed through the room like a countdown to destruction. As per your parents' final wishes, Rosalie began, adjusting her reading glasses, the entirety of the Maya estate, including all properties, investments, and liquid assets, will pass to Tyre Maya. The words hit me like a physical blow. I gripped the armrests of my chair, my knuckles turning white. There must be some mistake. There's no mistake, Tyre said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. Mom and Dad knew what they were doing. I turned to Rosalie, searching her face for any sign of support, but she kept her professional mask firmly in place. Nothing. They left me nothing. There's a personal letter, Rosalie said, sliding an envelope across the desk. Taya stood up, smoothing her designer suit. Well, I have meetings to attend. A resort doesn't build itself. She paused at the door, looking back at me with that practiced smile she'd perfected over the years. Don't worry, little sister. I'll make sure the family legacy stays intact. The door clicked shut behind her, and I finally let out the breath I'd been holding. Rosalie waited until Tyre's heels stopped clicking down the hallway before speaking. Isabel, I know this is difficult. Difficult? I laughed, but it came out more like a sob. They cut me out completely. Their own daughter. Open the letter, Rosalie suggested gently. My hands trembled as I tore open the envelope. Inside was a single page in my mother's elegant handwriting. Dearest Isabel, we know this decision will hurt you, but we believe it's for the best. Tyre has always shown the business acumen needed to manage our legacy. You have a kind heart, but the responsibility would be too much for you to handle. Love, Mom and Dad. I crumpled the paper in my fist. A kind heart? That's what they reduced me to. There's something else you should know, Rosalie said, leaning forward. Your sister's already planning a press conference to announce her new resort project. She's using the entire inheritance as capital. 3 days later, I stood in the back of a crowded hotel ballroom watching Tyre command the attention of every reporter present. My sister had always known how to work a room. The Maya Grand Resort will be my tribute to our parents' legacy, she announced, gesturing at the architectural renderings behind her. A 5-star destination that will put our city on the map. A reporter raised her hand. Miss Maya, what about your sister? Will she have any role in the project? Tyre's smile didn't waver. Isabel. Oh, she's always been more free-spirited. Business isn't really her strong suit. Our parents understood that, which is why they made their choice. We need to protect the family legacy after all. The crowd murmured in agreement, and I felt my face burn. Next to me, my best friend August squeezed my arm. Don't let her get to you, he whispered. Too late, I muttered, turning to leave. But Tyre's voice stopped me. In fact, there's my sister now. Isabel, why don't you come up here? The spotlight found me, and suddenly all eyes were on the family disappointment. I forced myself to smile and wave, declining the invitation with a shake of my head. See? Tyre laughed, always shy about the spotlight. But don't worry, sis. I'll make sure you get an invitation to the grand opening. Later that night, I sat in my modest apartment scrolling through the news coverage of Tyre's announcement. August paced behind my chair, ranting about family loyalty and karma. She can't just get away with this, he said for the 10th time. I closed my laptop and turned to face him. You're right, she can't. What are you thinking? I walked to my window looking out at the city lights. Everyone thinks I'm the naive little sister who can't handle business. Even my own parents believe that. I turned back to August, a plan already forming in my mind. But they never knew about my private investments, did they? August's eyes widened. The ones you started right out of college. I nodded. And Tyre has no idea that I own shares in the biggest hospitality supply company in the region. A smile spread across my face. The same company she'll need for her precious resort. Isabel. August's voice held a note of warning. Don't worry, I said, picking up my phone. I'm not going to do anything yet. First, I need to make a call to Rosalie. It's time to show my sister what the family disappointment is really capable of. Sometimes karma needs a helping hand, and mine was about to become very busy indeed. Rosalie's office felt different at night, more conspiratorial maybe. The city lights twinkled through the windows as I laid out my plan. You want to do what? Rosalie leaned back in her chair, eyebrows raised. I want to increase my stake in Superior Supplies, I said, sliding the paperwork across her desk. I've already got 15%. I want 30. The same company your sister will need for her resort? Rosalie picked up the documents, scanning them with practiced eyes. That's quite an investment, Isabel. I've been building toward this for years, I replied. Long before my parents, I swallowed hard before they made their choice. A knock at the door made us both jump. August entered, carrying 3 cups of coffee. Thought we might need these? It's going to be a long night. You didn't tell me he was involved, Rosalie said, accepting a cup. August has been helping me manage my investments since the beginning, I explained. He's the only one who knew what I was doing. And Taya has no idea? Rosalie asked. I laughed. Taya thinks I spend my days painting and feeding stray cats. She never bothered to look deeper. Speaking of your sister, August interrupted, pulling out his tablet. Look what just went live on social media. He showed us Taya's latest post, a video of her walking through the resort construction site hard hat, perfectly coordinated with her outfit. Breaking ground on my dream project, the caption read. Can't wait to show everyone what real business acumen looks like. Maya Grand Resort, family legacy. Real business acumen, I muttered. She's going to need more than that when her supply chain collapses. Rosalie set down her coffee. Isabel, are you sure about this? Revenge might feel good in the moment, but this isn't just about revenge, I cut in. Taya didn't just take my inheritance. She's been undermining me my entire life. Remember my college graduation? August, 0 groaned. The speech. What speech? Rosalie asked. Taya was chosen as the alumni speaker, I explained. She spent 10 minutes talking about how she'd overcome the challenge of being the responsible sibling, and how some people just aren't cut out for success. The whole audience knew she was talking about me. That's incredibly cruel, Rosalie said softly. And now she's doing it again, using our parents' death to paint herself as the only capable Maya child. I stood up and walked to the window. I'm tired of being the family disappointment, Rosalie. I'm tired of being underestimated. My phone buzzed. A text from Titus, the resort's project manager. Your sister's making impossible demands. The budget won't stretch this far. Help? Who's that? August asked. Titus. He doesn't know about my investment, but he knows I understand Tyre better than anyone. He's been keeping me updated on the project. That could be useful, Rosalie mused. What exactly is your sister demanding? I showed them the following texts from Titus. She wants Italian marble for all bathrooms, custom furniture from Paris, special order everything. The suppliers are getting nervous. Superior Supplies is already stretched thin trying to meet her demands, I said. If their biggest shareholder were to suddenly pull support, the whole house of cards would collapse. August, 0 finished. Rosalie stood up and walked to her filing cabinet. If we're really doing this, you'll need to sign these papers tonight. The shareholders' meeting is in 2 weeks. Perfect timing, I said, right before her grand opening announcement. Isabel, Rosalie said, her voice serious. Once we do this, there's no going back. Are you prepared for the fallout? I thought about all the times Tyre had humiliated me, all the snide comments and public put-downs. I thought about my parents' letter, reducing me to nothing more than a kind heart. I'm prepared, I said firmly. And I have something Tyre doesn't. What's that? August asked. Nothing left to lose. I picked up the pen and signed the papers with steady hands. Let's see how my sister handles it when her perfect plan falls apart. As we gathered our things to leave, Rosalie touched my arm. Your parents were wrong about you, you know. You have more business sense than they ever gave you credit for. Thanks, Rosalie. I smiled. But soon, everyone's going to know that, including Tia. Walking out into the night, August fell into step beside me. You know she's going to be furious when she figures it out. Good, I said, watching the construction lights of the Maya Grand Resort glowing in the distance. It's about time my sister learned what it feels like to be powerless. The pieces were in place. Now all I had to do was wait for the perfect moment to knock them down. Tell me again how you got started, August said, spreading old photos across my kitchen counter. I want to make sure I understand everything before the shareholders' meeting. I picked up a faded photograph of me at 22 standing in front of my first tiny office. It started with Dad's old college friend. Remember Mr. Patterson, the investment guy who always wore bow ties? Yeah. He was the only one who saw past Tyre's shadow. I smiled at the memory. He gave me my first real chance. The doorbell rang, and August went to answer it. Rosalie walked in carrying a stack of folders. Look what I found in the archives, she said, laying them out. Your first business plan, the one your parents refused to even look at. I opened the folder, running my fingers over the carefully typed pages. 5 years of working 2 jobs to save up capital. Nights spent studying market trends while Taya was at society parties. Speaking of your sister, August said, checking his phone, she just posted another update about the resort. He showed us the screen. Tyre standing with a group of investors, champagne in hand. The caption read, another successful meeting. The Maya Grand Resort will set new standards in luxury. Some people dream big, others make those dreams reality. Thus, business success. She has no idea what's coming, does she? Rosalie asked. No, I replied, pulling out my laptop. But look at this. I opened my investment portfolio showing them the steady growth over the years. While Tyre was flying to Paris picking out furniture, I was building this. Every spare dollar went into smart investments. Superior Supplies was just the beginning. Your sister's not the only one who inherited your parents' business sense, August noted. My phone buzzed. Another text from Titus. Emergency meeting called. Supply chain issues, tires freaking out, wish you were here to handle her. Perfect timing, I said, showing them the message. The shareholders meeting is tomorrow. Are you ready? Rosalie asked. I walked to my home office and opened the safe, pulling out a thick folder. See for yourself. Inside were documents showing every time Tyre had publicly undermined me, every contract she'd rushed through without proper review, every corner she'd cut to make her resort dream happen faster. Where did you get all this? August, Zero whistled. I've had help, remember Zara the journalist? Rosalie's eyes widened. The one who's been investigating local business practices? She's been gathering information for months. She just doesn't know I'm involved yet. I closed the folder. Once Superior Supplies pulls out, she'll have her story. A knock at the door interrupted us. Through the peephole I saw Titus looking stressed. Hide everything, I whispered urgently. August and Rosalie quickly gathered the documents while I opened the door. Isabel, thank God you're home, Titus said, rushing in. Your sister's latest demands are impossible. The suppliers are threatening to walk. Sit down, I said, gesturing to the couch. Tell me everything. She wants to move up the opening date. Says she has to prove something to someone. He ran his hands through his hair. The suppliers can't meet the new deadline. Superior Supplies is our last hope, and they're having a shareholders meeting tomorrow that could change everything. I shared a quick look with August. That sounds serious. It's worse than that, Titus continued. Tyre's been bad-mouthing you to everyone who'll listen. Says she had to take control because you'd run the family business into the ground. My hands clenched into fists under the table. Is that so? I shouldn't tell you this. But Titus leaned forward. Some of us are starting to see through her act, the way she treats people, the corners she cuts. It's not right. After Titus left, Rosalie turned to me. Still sure about tomorrow? I walked to my window looking out at the city I'd spent years quietly investing in while Tyre hogged the spotlight, more sure than ever. What if she figures out it was you? August asked. That's exactly what I want, I replied. I want her to know that her irresponsible little sister brought down her perfect plan. Rosalie gathered her things to leave. Just remember, Isabel, the best revenge isn't just about destroying someone's plans. It's about proving them wrong about you, I finished. After they left, I stood in my office looking at the photo wall I'd created. Every small victory, every careful investment, every step toward this moment. Tomorrow, everything would change. My phone buzzed one last time. Tyre had tagged me in another post. Family is everything. Wish my sister had the drive to be part of this amazing journey. Business genetics. I smiled and put down my phone. Oh, sister dear, I whispered. You have no idea how much drive I have. The resort's construction site buzzed with activity as I walked through the entrance, hard hat firmly in place. Workers rushed around like disturbed ants, their faces tense. Something was wrong. Isabel? Titus jogged over, clipboard in hand. What are you doing here? Thought I'd see how my sister's dream project is coming along, I said innocently. Everything okay? People seem stressed. Before he could answer, Tyre's voice cut through the chaos. What do you mean delayed? I don't accept delays. We turned to see her standing by the half-finished main entrance, designer boots covered in dust as she berated a supplier. Miss Meyer, the supplier said, we can't meet these deadlines. The materials, I don't want excuses, Tyre snapped. I want results. The grand opening is in 3 weeks. Make it happen. She stormed off, nearly running into me. Isabel, what are you doing here? Just admiring your progress. I gestured at the construction site. Looks like things are running smoothly. Her eyes narrowed. Don't you have some art gallery to visit or something? My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Zara Watson. We need to talk about your sister's project urgently. Everything all right? Tyre asked, noticing my expression. Perfect. I smiled, pocketing my phone. Just like your project. After Tyre clicked away on her heels, Titus pulled me aside behind a stack of lumber. We're in trouble, Isabel, big trouble. What's happening? Superior Supplies is having an emergency shareholders meeting today. Word is they're voting on whether to continue high-risk projects. He lowered his voice. This resort qualifies as high risk. That would be devastating for Tyre, I said, fighting to keep my face neutral. It gets worse. Remember those custom materials she insisted on? They're stuck in customs. The regular suppliers can't meet her new deadline. He checked his phone, and the investors are getting nervous. My phone buzzed again. Zara. I have documentation about questionable practices at the Maya Grand Resort. Your sister's name is all over it. I should go, I told Titus. Good luck with everything. I met Zara at a quiet cafe downtown. She was younger than I expected, with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. Your sister's resort project is built on sand, she said, sliding a folder across the table. Metaphorically speaking, I opened it, pretending to be surprised by documents I'd helped compile. These contracts are rushed and potentially illegal, Zara finished. And that's just the beginning. Sources tell me Superior Supplies is about to pull out. How do you know all this? She smiled. I'm good at my job. The question is, why aren't you more surprised? Before I could answer, August called. Isabel, turn on the business news now. The cafe had a TV mounted in the corner. I gestured to the bartender to change the channel. Breaking news, the anchor announced. Superior Supplies shareholders have voted to restructure their high-risk investments. This decision could impact several major construction projects, including the highly anticipated Meyer Grand Resort. My phone exploded with notifications. Titus, emergency meeting called, tires losing it. Zara watched me carefully. You knew this was coming, didn't you? What makes you say that? Because you're smiling. I quickly composed my face. I should go check on my sister. One more thing, Zara called as I stood. The shareholders' vote wasn't unanimous, but one major stakeholder tipped the balance. Any idea who that might be? I met her knowing look with a blank expression. No idea. Good luck with your story. Outside, I called August. It's done. Superior Supplies is pulling out. I just drove past the resort, he said. It's chaos. Tires called every supplier in the region. Too bad they're all booked up, I replied. Amazing how many projects needed materials right when Tire did. You didn't. I might have mentioned to a few key people that there would be supply chain issues this month. Better safe than sorry, right? My phone buzzed again. Tire calling. I let it go to voicemail. She'll figure it out eventually, August. Zero warned. I'm counting on it. I watched another news crew pull up to the resort site. The mighty Tire Meyer, undone by the sister she thought was too stupid to matter. Isabel, I know. I should feel bad. I started walking toward my car. But you know what? After everything she's done, everything she's said, I just feel free. The resort's half-finished structure loomed in the distance. A monument to Tire's hubris. Soon, it would be a monument to her failure, and I would be there to watch it fall. The shareholders' meeting room felt like a courtroom, and I was both judge and executioner. Superior Supplies board members sat around the massive table, all eyes on the presentation screen. The numbers don't lie, the CEO announced. The Meyer Grand Resort project presents an unacceptable level of risk. I raised my hand, the motion practiced to perfection. As a major stakeholder, I moved to immediately terminate our involvement. Beside me, August squeezed my knee under the table. Mar. A silent question. Are you sure? I gave a slight nod. The vote stands at a deadlock, the CEO continued. Miss Isabel's shares will determine the outcome. My phone buzzed. Tire again. Her 15th call today. I declined it and stood up. Ladies and gentlemen, I began. I've reviewed the project details extensively, the rushed timelines, the impossible demands, the financial instability. We'd be foolish to continue. The vote was quick and decisive. Within minutes, Superior Supplies officially pulled out of the Meyer Grand Resort project. As we left the meeting, Rosalie was waiting outside. It's done? It's done, I confirmed. Has Zara published her story yet? Just went live 10 minutes ago, August. Zero said, checking his phone. My Grand Resort. A house of cards? It's already trending. My phone rang again. This time it was Titus, I answered on speaker. Isabel, it's a disaster, he said, his voice shaking. Tires called an emergency press conference for tomorrow. She's trying to save face, but we have no supplies, no alternatives, and the investors are pulling out. That's terrible, I said, catching August's eye. How's she taking it? There was a crash in the background. She's not taking it well. Look, I have to go. She's throwing things again. I hung up as another call came in, this time from an unknown number. Miss Meyer, a professional voice asked. This is Marcus from Business Today. We'd love to get your comment on your sister's resort situation. Our sources indicate you might have some insight into the project's collapse. No comment, I said, ending the call. Rosalie touched my arm. Are you ready for what comes next? Once Tire realizes, let her realize, I said, walking toward the elevator. I'm done hiding in her shadow. Back at my apartment, August and I watched the news coverage unfold. Every channel showed the same images, construction workers leaving the site, suppliers removing their equipment, and Tire's increasingly desperate social media posts. Still maintaining that perfect image, August noted, reading her latest update. Minor setbacks only make us stronger. The Meyer Grand Resort team is adapting and overcoming. Business resilience. Not for long, I said, opening my laptop. Wait until she sees this. I pulled up the document I'd been saving, a detailed record of my investment history, complete with proof of my Superior Supplies ownership. One click would send it to every major business publication in the city. Isabel, August said quietly, once you do this, there's no going back. No reconciliation? No family reunions? Are you sure it's worth it? My finger hovered over the send button. You weren't there, August. All those years of her subtle digs, public humiliation. turning our parents against me. I pressed send. She made her choice. Now I've made mine. My phone immediately lit up with notifications. Journalists, business contacts, and finally, Tyre. This time, I answered. You, she hissed. It was you all along. Surprise, sister dear. Turns out I understand business after all. How dare you? Her voice shook with rage. Our parents were right about you. You're nothing but a what? I cut in. A disappointment? A failure? Funny how this failure just brought down your entire empire. I'll destroy you, she threatened. No, Tyre, you already tried that. Now it's my turn. I hung up as another call came in. Zara, I just got the investment records, she said. This is bigger than I thought. Mind sitting down for an interview? Actually, I smiled. I have a better idea. How about exclusive access to tomorrow's press conference? I think it's time the other Maya sister had her moment in the spotlight. After ending the call, I walked to my window. The resort's construction lights were dark now, the site abandoned. What do you think Mom and Dad would say? August asked, joining me. They'd probably still take her side, I said. But it doesn't matter anymore. I'm done trying to prove myself to people who never wanted to see me succeed. My phone buzzed with a text from Rosalie. Press conference set for 9 a.m., ready to show the world who you really are. I typed back, more than ready. Time to rewrite the family legacy. Tomorrow, everyone would know the truth about both Maya sisters. And for once, I couldn't wait to be the center of attention. The hotel ballroom was packed. Every news outlet in the city scrambling for the best position. I stood backstage watching Taya pace in her designer suit, her perfect image finally showing cracks. This is a disaster, she muttered, checking her phone. Where are the new suppliers? Why isn't anyone calling back? Maybe because I called them first, I said, stepping out of the shadows. Tyre whirled around. You have no right to be here. Actually, I do. I held up my conference badge. I'm one of the speakers. Like hell you are. She grabbed for my badge, but August stepped between us. Ladies and gentlemen, the event coordinator announced, please welcome Taya Maya to discuss the future of the Maya Grand Resort. Taya straightened her jacket, plastering on her media smile. This isn't over, she hissed before walking onto the stage. You ready? August whispered. I watched my sister take the podium. More than ready. Thank you all for coming, Tyre began. As you know, we've encountered some temporary setbacks. A reporter's hand shot up. Miss Maya, sources say Superior Supplies pulled out due to concerns about project viability. Comment? We're exploring alternative partnerships, Taya said smoothly. The Maya Grand Resort represents our family's legacy of excellence. Speaking of family, another reporter interrupted. Can you address rumors that your sister was the key shareholder who voted against your project? The color drained from Tyre's face. She gripped the podium harder. That's now, I whispered to August. He nodded and signaled to Zara in the audience. Zara stood up. Miss Maya, Business Today has obtained documents showing your sister Isabel has built a significant investment portfolio over the past 5 years, including controlling shares in several key suppliers. Would you care to comment on your previous statements about her business capabilities? The room erupted in camera flashes and shouted questions. Tyre's perfect mask cracked completely. This is ridiculous, she snapped. My sister can barely balance her checkbook. She's nothing but a successful investor, I said, walking onto the stage. The room fell silent. Would you like to see my portfolio, Tyre, or should we discuss how you've been cutting corners on the resort to meet impossible deadlines? Security, Tyre called out. Remove her. They can't, I said calmly. I'm a registered speaker, and I have proof of everything. Titus appeared at the back of the room holding up a USB drive, including these emails ordering us to ignore safety protocols. Tyre lunged for the microphone, but I got there first. Ladies and gentlemen, I addressed the crowd. My name is Isabel Meyer. While my sister was busy building a resort on shortcuts and arrogance, I was quietly building something else, a legitimate business empire. Cameras flashed as I pulled up the investment records on the presentation screen. For years, Tyre has painted me as the family failure. Our parents believed her, but success doesn't always wear designer suits and make grand announcements. You're destroying everything, Tyre shouted. No, sister, you did that yourself. I just helped karma along. The questions came rapid fire. Miss Isabel, what other investments do you hold? Was this revenge planned from the start? Will you take over the resort project? I held up my hand. The Maya Grand Resort was built on a foundation of lies and shortcuts, just like Tyre built her reputation on undermining mine. Both were bound to collapse eventually. You little Tyre grabbed my arm, but August. Zero was faster, stepping between us again. Security, he called. Please escort Miss Tyre out. She seems unwell. As security led my struggling sister away, Zara approached the podium. Isabel, would you care to elaborate on your investment strategy? I smiled at the cameras. Actually, I would. It's time everyone knew what the irresponsible Meyer sister has been up to. For the next hour, I laid out my business achievements, watching Tyre's empire crumble in real time as reporters fact-checked everything. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from potential investors and business partners. Afterward, in the empty ballroom, August handed me a glass of champagne. "How does it feel?" "Like freedom," I said, watching the cleaning crew take down the Maya Grand Resort banners. "Think she'll ever recover? From the financial damage? Maybe. From being outsmarted by her stupid little sister?" He clinked his glass against mine. "Never." My phone buzzed. "Rosalie, turn on the news. Tyre's investors are pulling out en masse. The resort project is officially dead." I looked out the window at the abandoned construction site. Soon, it would be just another failed dream. A monument to hubris and karma. "Ready to go?" August asked. "Almost." I took one last look around the ballroom. I just want to enjoy this moment a little longer. After all, revenge tastes best when served in front of cameras. The rain poured down on the abandoned resort site as Tyre stood in the mud, her designer clothes soaked through. I watched from my car as she stared at the half-finished building, now covered in foreclosure notices. "Should we go talk to her?" August asked from the driver's seat. "Wait," I said, just as Tyre's legs gave out, and she collapsed to her knees. I stepped out of the car, umbrella in hand, and walked toward my sister. For the first time in our lives, she looked small. "Come to gloat?" she asked without looking up. "No." I held the umbrella over both of us. "I came to return this." I pulled out our mother's letter, the one calling me irresponsible. Tyre's hands trembled as she took it. "You ruined me," she whispered. "You ruined yourself," I corrected. "I just stopped hiding who I really am. Miss Maya." We both turned to see Zara approaching with a camera crew. "Could we get a statement about the foreclosure?" Tyre scrambled to her feet, trying to salvage her dignity, but her heels snapped in the mud. She stumbled, and I instinctively caught her arm. "Get that camera out of my face," she snarled. "Actually," I said, "I'll give a statement." The camera light flicked on, and Zara held out her microphone. "Isabel Meyer, you're now being called the silent success by business magazines. How does it feel to watch your sister's project fail?" I looked at Tyre, seeing past her mask to the scared woman beneath. Success and failure aren't always what they seem. Sometimes the biggest failures teach us the most important lessons. And what lesson should your sister learn from this? Before I could answer, Taya grabbed the microphone. "You want a statement? Fine." My perfect little sister played me. She waited in the shadows, building her empire while I trusted her act. "That's enough," I cut in. "The cameras are here for the foreclosure story, not our family drama." "Family drama?" Tyre laughed hysterically. "You destroyed our family legacy." "No, I saved it." I turned to the camera. "The Maya legacy isn't about grand resorts or public appearances. It's about building something real, something that lasts, something our parents could have been proud of if they'd looked past the surface." "Cut the camera," Zara ordered, sensing the shift in mood. She nodded to me and led her crew away. Tyre and I stood in silence, the rain drumming on my umbrella. "What happens now?" she finally asked. "Now, you pick yourself up? Start over, maybe try building something honest this time. Easy for you to say. You've won. The newspapers love you. The investors love you." She wiped her eyes. "Even Titus quit to work for you." "I didn't do this to win, Tyre. I did it to stop losing." A sleek black car pulled up and Rosalie stepped out. "Tyre, the bankruptcy lawyers are waiting." Tyre straightened her spine, that old familiar mask sliding back into place. But now I could see the cracks in it. "One more thing," I said as she turned to leave. "Those irresponsible investments you mocked, they're worth more than Dad's entire estate now. Funny how that worked out." She stopped. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you need to understand, I was never the failure you thought I was. I just played the game differently." "Miss Meyer," Rosalie called again. "We need to go." Tyre took one last look at her crumbling dream. "I really thought I was better than you. I know. That was your biggest mistake." As Tyre walked away, August joined me under the umbrella. "You okay?" "Look at this place," I said, gesturing at the abandoned construction. "All that rush, all that corner cutting, all those lies. For what?" "For a lesson," he replied. "One she'll never forget." My phone buzzed with a news alert. Maya Grand Resort foreclosure final. Rising business star, Isabel Maya, comments on sister's downfall. "They're calling me a star now," I laughed. If they only knew how many nights I spent working 2 jobs, studying investment strategies, building this piece by piece. "Maybe you should tell them," August suggested. "Show everyone that success doesn't always wear designer labels." I looked at the resort last time. "No. Let them figure it out themselves just like I did." We walked back to the car as the rain began to ease. Behind us, Tyre's dreams stood as a monument to karma, to consequences, and to the power of playing the long game. Sometimes the quietest revenge is the most satisfying. The morning sun streamed through my office windows as I reviewed the latest investment reports. A knock at the door made me look up. Ready for the meeting? August asked, leaning against the doorframe. Almost. I gathered my papers, pausing at a newspaper clipping pinned to my bulletin board. Meyer Grand Resort site to become Community Business Center. Still can't believe you bought it, August said, following my gaze. Someone had to. I grabbed my jacket. Besides, small businesses need affordable spaces to grow. The elevator ride to the conference room was interrupted at the lobby. The doors opened to reveal Tyre, looking different in simple business attire. Her designer labels gone. Going up? I asked. She hesitated before stepping in. 4th floor. The small business development office? August asked. Tyre nodded, clutching her folder tighter. I have an appointment with the loan officer. The silence stretched until I broke it. How's the fresh start going? She swallowed hard. It's humbling, but real. The elevator stopped at the 4th floor. Before stepping out, Tyre turned to me. I saw what you're doing with the resort site. It's good. Better than what I planned. After she left, August whistled low. Was that actually humility from Tyre? Karma works in mysterious ways, I said as we reached our floor. The conference room was packed with familiar faces. Rosalie sat next to Titus reviewing documents. Zara was there too, notebook ready. Let's begin, I announced, taking my seat. The Community Business Center project is on schedule. Titus, update. Construction is properly done this time, he reported. No shortcuts, no rushed permits. We're creating something that will last. Speaking of lasting, Zara interjected, sources tell me Tyre's applying for a small business loan. That's not relevant to this meeting, I said firmly. But it's relevant to your story, she pressed. The mighty Tyre Meyer, starting from scratch. People want to know if you'll help her. I closed my folder. What people want to know isn't always what they need to know. Next item on the agenda. After the meeting, Rosalie held me back. That was kind. Protecting Tyre's privacy. It wasn't kindness, I said. She needs to build something real on her own just like I did. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Found Mom and Dad's old business journals. Thought you should have them. T. Looks like someone's learning, August said, reading over my shoulder. Maybe, I typed back. Thanks. Good luck with the loan officer. Walking through the construction site of the future Community Business Center, I stopped where the resort's grand entrance would have been. Now it would be a shared workspace for startups. Miss Meyer, a young entrepreneur, approached me. I just wanted to say thank you. This center, it's giving people like me a chance. Sometimes, I replied, all anyone needs is a chance to prove themselves. Back in my office, I opened my parents' old journals. A note fell out in Tyre's handwriting. I was wrong about everything. Maybe one day we can both build something worthy of the Maya name. Separately but better. T. August found me reading it later. You never wanted to destroy her, did you? Just the image she created. The perfect sister. The family disappointment. I pinned the note next to the newspaper clipping. Those were never real. This is real. I gestured out the window at the bustling construction site where small business owners were already touring their future spaces. What now? August asked. Now we build something that matters. I picked up my phone as it buzzed with another text from Tyre. Loan approved. Starting small. Doing it right this time. I smiled and replied, that's how the best things are built. Looking out at the city skyline, I thought about legacy. Not the kind built on marble floors and designer labels, but the kind built on determination, honesty, and second chances. Ready to head out? August asked. Almost. I took one last look at the construction site. You know what's funny? All those years Tyre spent trying to prove she was better than me, and I just wanted to prove I was worthy of being me. And now? Now I don't need to prove anything. I grabbed my coat. That's what real success feels like. We walked out together, passing the sign for the Community Business Center. Below it, a smaller sign read, where small dreams grow big. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction at all. It's building something better from the ruins. And sometimes, if you're lucky, those you once fought might learn to build something better too. That's not just karma. That's justice.